He's an exceptional assassin, unless we stop him.
There's no record of him. This guy's a ghost.
I know I can find him.
I've heard good things about you, Bianca. Don't let me down.
The growing interest surrounding the Day of the Jackal has resurfaced with a powerful momentum, bringing renewed attention to this iconic assassination, thriller, and the world it created. Discussions around the project have been intensifying, with every new update adding to the sense that this story, once rooted in political tension and meticulous suspense, is being prepared for a modern retelling that respects its classic origins while shaping something entirely new. The focus remains on the cold precision and psychological depth of the central figure known only as the Jackal, a professional assassin whose enigmatic presence has fueled fascination for decades. As conversations about the new adaptation circulate, the atmosphere around it has that unmistakable feeling of a story being sharpened again, almost like a weapon being prepared for a fresh mission. Much of the growing excitement comes from the way the project is said to be honoring the original setup of a calculated, almost surgical cat and mouse pursuit. Instead of leaning on exaggerated action, updates emphasize a return to a grounded, methodical style of tension, the kind that builds slowly through careful detail and quiet intensity. The world being crafted is portrayed as one where every step the assassin takes is part of a larger pattern, executed with a kind of discipline that borders on obsession. The tone being described carries an atmosphere that is both modern and timeless, capturing the political unease of shifting power structures and the unsettling idea that one exceptionally skilled individual can alter history with a single bullet. There has been particular attention placed on the character of the Jackal, who is again being envisioned as a man, defined more by his silence, discipline, and adaptability than by any dramatic backstory. Instead of trying to rewrite his identity, updates suggest that the new vision is leaning into his mystery, treating him like a force rather than a personality, a ghost-like figure slipping through borders, identities, and layers of security with effortless precision. Interest has also grown around the way his transformation sequence will be shown, especially his ability to reshape appearance, mannerisms, and strategy depending on the environment he infiltrates. This element, always a defining feature of the character, is expected to be portrayed with upgraded detail and realism, emphasizing the eerie calmness he maintains while forging new identities. On the opposite end of the story's tension, attention has been drawn to the investigative force pursuing him. Updates highlight that the pursuit is being shaped with more emotional weight and psychological conflict than before, painting the investigator not as a flawless mastermind, but as someone carrying the strain of impossible responsibility. Rather than depending solely on technology or action, the chase is being refined to emphasize intuition, long hours of analysis, and the mental exhaustion that comes from trying to predict a man who leaves almost no trace. The dynamic being shaped between hunter and hunted is being described as a duel of intelligence and patience, where every clue is a fragment, every lead a gamble, and every mistake potentially fatal. Regarding casting, current discussions portray the selection process as being focused on finding performers who embody subtlety rather than theatricality. The figure rumored to play the Jackal is said to have a calm intensity, someone capable of delivering menace without raising their voice. His physicality is described as controlled, deliberate, almost serene, giving the impression of a man who moves through the world without friction. Meanwhile, the actor considered for the role of the investigator is reportedly chosen for his ability to convey exhaustion, determination, and quiet moral conflict. Instead of presenting him as a traditional hero, updates suggest a portrayal of someone whose personal life is worn thin by the burden of preventing catastrophe, a man who understands that one miscalculation could change the fate of an entire nation. As for the narrative shape, The core plot remains centered on a secretive operation hiring an elite assassin to eliminate a major political figure, with the entire execution planned down to the smallest detail. The emphasis is reportedly being placed on the realism of strategy forging identities, acquiring specialized weapons, passing through checkpoints unnoticed, and using small but critical acts of deception to bypass systems designed to be unbreakable. The tension is said to rise gradually rather than explosively, mirroring the careful nature of the Jackal's personality. Each sequence is being crafted with an attention to atmosphere, whether it's the sterile quiet of a workshop where a weapon is assembled, or the chaotic noise of a public setting where danger hides in plain sight. Discussions around the political backdrop suggest that the new version is shaping the environment to reflect modern instability, echoing themes of ideological conflict, government fragility, and the unpredictable nature of global power. Instead of anchoring the story to a single era, updates indicate a world that feels both contemporary and vaguely timeless, allowing audiences to recognize familiar political tensions without tying the plot to specific real-world events. This creative choice helps the story maintain its universality and avoids diluting its suspense with overly specific commentary. It also reinforces the unsettling idea that sophisticated political violence can emerge from shadows at any time, driven not by personal emotion but by calculated purpose. Regarding production details, the tone being discussed suggests a blend of sharp realism and atmospheric cinematography. Practical effects and grounded action are reportedly being prioritized over digital spectacle, creating a sense of authenticity that reflects the methodical nature of the story. The environments are expected to range from narrow European alleyways to formal government interiors, each designed to contrast the anonymity of the assassin with the structured order of the institutions trying to stop him. Lighting is rumored to lean into cold, neutral palettes, reinforcing the sterile, emotionless precision that defines the Jackal's worldview. Updates related to the film's pacing describe a structure that builds tension through silence, long takes, and deliberate movement rather than fast-cut sequences. The intention appears to be recreating that classic feeling of suspense where audiences become increasingly aware of small details, a glance, a gesture, a quiet footstep, knowing every tiny decision could be the moment that changes the trajectory of the mission. The psychological experience being crafted seems to emphasize discomfort, anticipation, and the unnerving sensation of watching someone who is always 3 steps ahead of everyone else. Conversations about the trailer indicate that it will likely highlight mood over action. Instead of showcasing major scenes, the preview is expected to rely on subtle imagery, the assassin crafting his tools, a passport being stamped, a silent walk through a crowd, a close-up of a target being observed from afar. Moments showing the investigator studying clues, connecting patterns, or expressing quiet frustration are believed to be part of the montage, giving viewers a taste of the mental duel at the heart of the story. The sound design is said to lean toward minimalistic music, letting the suspense speak for itself. The release discussions suggest that the project is being timed for a period when audiences are looking for grounded, sophisticated thrillers rather than explosions and spectacle-heavy blockbusters. The anticipation surrounding its schedule hints that the team wants to position the film as a prestige-level release, hoping to attract viewers who appreciate slow-burn tension and finely crafted storytelling. Even though no exact details are being confirmed within these conversations, the momentum around the project gives the impression that the team behind it is dedicating enormous care to ensuring the film stands alongside the most respected thrillers of its kind. One of the most intriguing updates revolves around the themes being emphasized in this retelling. Beyond political danger and suspense, The film is reportedly exploring the idea of detachment, how a man like the Jackal lives outside normal emotional frameworks, operating with a cold purity of purpose that leaves no room for empathy. This thematic direction is complemented by the investigator's narrative, which leans into the emotional consequences of trying to stop someone who feels more like an idea than a human being. The contrast between emotional weight and emotional emptiness creates a layered tension that goes beyond the physical chase, painting a picture of two men shaped by entirely different internal landscapes. Another point being discussed relates to the authenticity of the weaponry and tactical preparation. Reports suggest that intense research and consultation have gone into portraying the technical aspects of the assassin's methods, from the custom-built rifle to the careful observation of angles, distances, and possible escape routes. The film appears to be treating these details with respect, presenting them not as flashy props, but as extensions of the Jackal's character, precise, efficient, and meticulously planned. This focus on realism contributes to the kind of immersive thriller experience that fans of the genre appreciate, where the world feels real enough to be unsettling. A similar level of attention is being placed on the investigative techniques used by the team trying to catch him. Rather than leaning on overly dramatized technology or instant breakthroughs, the process is being described as a gradual assembly of fragments, emphasizing paperwork, interviews, intuition, and the weariness that comes with analyzing patterns that never quite fit together. This grounded approach elevates the story's realism and highlights the human effort required to prevent catastrophic events. As audiences await more official material, the overall impression forming around the Day of the Jackal is that it aims to strike a rare balance, respectful of its source identity, but confident enough to reshape itself for a new generation. It is not trying to reinvent the essence of the story, but to refine it, polish it, and present it with a level of detail, atmosphere, and psychological depth that reflects modern storytelling expectations. The project seems determined to deliver a thriller that values intelligence over spectacle, patience over noise, and precision over chaos. All of the ongoing discussions, updates, and expectations suggest that this upcoming adaptation is shaping into a tightly controlled suspense experience, one that leans into the strengths of its premise rather than relying on modern cliches. From the shadowed movements of the Jackal to the strained determination of the man chasing him, the story appears ready to reintroduce audiences to a world where danger hides behind politeness, calmness masks violence, and a single man's mission can send entire governments spiraling into panic. With the anticipation continuing to build, this retelling of the Day of the Jackal stands poised to bring back one of the most iconic thrillers ever conceived, not as a simple remake, but as a reimagined encounter with the quiet terror of absolute precision.